We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Joy in My House, inspirational reality radio show with a touch of recovery. A reality radio show where nothing is left unsaid.
And no one is insignificant who shares.
I'm joined here by my co-host and author of Shaped by the Master's Hand, Lolita
How are
Robinson.
you doing today?
Welcome to another day of Joy in My House.
Welcome to another day. Well, this is the birthday month.
It really is.
I know.
It was my mother's birthday yesterday.
Yeah, mine's on Wednesday. And when is yours?
Coming up. Mine's at the end of the month on the 28th.
Okay.
And me and my sister share the same birthday.
Are you
4
kidding?
years apart.
Oh, that's crazy.
The exact same birthday.
That is crazy. Okay.
My father's a physicist, so he said he did the math.
Oh!
Yeah, right. But he is a mathematician.
That is so cool. Well, happy birthday to Mom. So what did you guys do to celebrate for her?
You know, we hung out at the Grove. And
you love the Grove.
You know, I just love the
outdoor
outdoor
What do you like
feeling.
about it? You really like it there.
You know, because it has the farmer's market when I'm broke. And
Okay.
then if I ever want to, you know, it's cheap and cheerful. And then
Cheap and cheerful. I love
and
that.
if I want to do something a little more high end, we always eat at the Nordstrom's Cafe at the,
Okay.
Cafe Verde, and the food's very good. And you know, I just love the atmosphere. And being from Orange County, everybody's really very nice, and it's not as busy.
Right,
Like,
right.
when you come to LA, there's a hustle and a
Oh my
bustle
gosh.
to it, and people are bumping into
There
me.
is
And they don't
such
say,
I know. I was noticing
but I like that.
Okay, I see. You're a New Yorker then, by heart. Huh?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
The fast pace. Well, that's really good. I like that about you, that you celebrate with your family. You guys make a conscious effort of
Yes.
being over a meal and all of you getting together. I think that's important.
It really is, especially right now. And you know, I don't really always air my dirty laundry, but I just broke up with my girlfriend.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
And it was a year-long relationship, and I had a lot of high expectations, and maybe that was my fault. My expectations of, God, I'm ready to get married and all this, but God's tempering me.
Right.
And it's on His time. It's on
Right.
His time, because I know any time that I've relied on Him, He's done amazing.
Right.
So I had an opportunity to spend more time with my sister, spend time with my mom and my father, just us, and it was really fulfilling to know that I have this love and support of my parents and of my sister.
Right.
Where sometimes you think you have nobody.
Yeah, you do.
And you really do have. I really do have a circle of amazing people in my life. We have Paul Obel
I
here,
know, and he's here
who's one of my
today.
mentors, who sits on the board of directors.
Yes.
I have
yeah.
you.
Got a lot of people I feel that way about
Kathy
you too.
Taylor. I went to my Celebrate
That's my
Recovery
girl,
meeting,
yeah.
and she made me feel good about myself. And when we're going through struggles and challenges, we really need to cling on those people that are safe.
Yeah.
Those people that are just loving, unconditional, regardless of where I'm at, regardless if I'm depressed, happy, or if I'm that fun-loving guy.
Right.
So
You
I think
need
it's
that
important.
support. Well, speaking of support, we want to extend our condolences to the people who were, you heard that attack
Killed,
in
yes.
Orlando.
In Orlando.
I don't care what your beliefs are, where your life choices are. It doesn't give anybody the right to kill and to maim and to hurt other people. So I pray that these people will find support from the community, and that they will feel the love, and that Christ is on the throne, and all these people that are representing God and doing things in His name. It's not Him. It is not Him. So I like what you're talking about, the support, and I want to say something about my son Joe, who lost his little buddy Taz last week. Him and Stephanie. My heart goes out to them with the animals and stuff. Little Taz was hit by a car.
That's right. I saw that
Yeah.
on Facebook. He posted that he
Yeah.
had lost his little puppy. And
You love your animals. I mean, animals are family.
They
you know?
really are. They really are. There was a point in time where my dog was my lifeline.
Yeah.
It was the one that absorbed my depression.
That's right.
And it's about 2 months ago, it ran away. And I was Zuki. Yeah, I was devastated. I was driving all over the
Oh my
place. It ended up
gosh.
in Huntington Beach. I live in Fullerton.
What was she doing there?
I have a chip in her, and wherever they took her, they started transferring her
Oh, because
closer
she's
to
a beautiful dog. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well,
but I
the thing
found her
about
and it's-
support that's beautiful is how God is gracious. He gives animals for us, one another, our families, our friends.
That's right.
That's all from God, the support that He gives. I'm glad you found her.
Me too, because I would have been heartbroken.
Right,
And sometimes when that's sometimes the love that we feel from something so unconditional. She just loves me unconditional.
That's right.
You can't put a price on it.
There you go. There you go.
But we want to thank all of you out there who are listening and viewing for being a part of the joy that we have in our house here on latalklive.com. Know that you can follow us on Facebook /Joy in My House. If you like the page, you'll receive up-to-date lineups of guests and information. We also have a Twitter page where you can tweet us with any questions or comments. And you can also follow us on Instagram /Joy in My House. We had a great show for you last week. Reflections was on.
That's right. And you aired them twice, which was great. We aired it
twice, back to back. Jita, Sharon, Tony, and Lynn were the singing group. And it was so interesting because they're not a young group.
No.
They're not pop, but they're doing so much work in the community and giving back their talent.
Yeah, that's the whole thing about, we were talking about that. Use your gifts. Okay, maybe if you want to be like a movie star or whatever, that's fine. It's all age relevant. You have to be a certain kind of age and look a certain way. But if you have talent and God has given it to you, you have something to say or sing, or as our guest today, being creative, then use it. That's what was so beautiful about them. They're not letting age, they're not letting anything keep them from doing what they need to do, and that's what's important. I'm glad you aired the show twice.
I agree, because I think even for me, I'm already a little older, a little slower. Some of these fighters that I work with.
Are you still? You have a fight coming up?
We don't have a fight coming up. We have a new contract coming up with the new league.
Okay.
It's Robert Rodriguez's new league called Combat America.
Okay.
And I went to go see Danny Trejo, the actor. From Machete. I want him to sponsor Sam Lira, who's one of my fighters.
Okay.
So a lot of things are happening and kind of stirring up, but we have to stay grounded.
Right.
And I think that's, for me, the key is...
now you can't get in that. You don't sparring with him anymore, are you?
No, I get a heavyweight to come in and handle that. I have bruises on my face, and you show up to the show with a busted lip. And but my point is that you have to stay grounded. You have to know that if that works out or if it falls through, you got to
reinvent yourself. You have to go with the different seasons, different things come, but it's not over. You just reinvent yourself. Good for you. And you got smart.
I got life had to humble me, because I wasn't doing it on my own. And thanks to God in my life, we have a great show for you today.
Yeah.
We're talking about reinventing ourselves and giving our talents and gifts over, and have God bless them and give us that favor. We have Rochelle Castillas.
She's beautiful.
Mama Panor.
She's
a Mama Panor. She's a fashionista. She's a motivational speaker. She's a TV writer and a host of Divine Appointment, which is on the Faith Unveiled Network, which is Paul Obel's network, who sits on the board of directors of our show.
Who definitely reinvents himself over and over again. He's got so many enterprises. Excellent.
So you're not going to want to miss. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joy in My House. We're going to come right back. I want you to stay tuned.
Hi, this is Frank. And this is Ruslan. Inviting you to join us every Thursday, 1 p.m. Pacific, for Cool Classics. Join us as we discuss classical cool in the arts, what has happened, what is happening, and what will happen. So don't forget to tune in to Cool Classics every Thursday, 1 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Radio Flag, TuneIn Radio, Aha Radio, TiVo Radio, and Apple TV Radio. Or just watch and listen directly at Cool Classics on latalklive.com. Classic radio handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and this is Frank, and this is Ruslan, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, I'm Ro Williams, and I would like to invite you to join GospelRhythms.com every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our show, GospelRhythms.com Talk Live Radio. Join us as we celebrate Christians around the world in all genres of entertainment, as well as highlight interest stories on men and women who are making a difference and impacting their community. So don't forget to tune in to GospelRhythms.com, Talk Live Radio, exclusively on LATalkLive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes under R&B or watch us live on Ustream TV. We are reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is GospelRhythms.com, Talk Live Radio on LATalkLive.com. We're more than just talk. We're heaven's party here on earth.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Joy in My House, inspirational reality show with a touch of recovery. I'm joined here by Lolita Robinson.
That's great. I'm ready to go. Let's head out.
And our in-studio guest, Rochelle Castilla. Welcome to the show.
Yay.
Welcome to the show.
Excited to be here. Thank you
Well,
for having me today.
We always like to let our audience and viewers know how we met. We met through Paul Obel, who sits on the board of directors of this show, and he's also one of our talent directors. He actually booked you for the show. Usually when I get a guest who's interested in coming on the show, I do a lot of background. I go and check their website. I go and check their Facebook. I make sure that they're appropriate for the show.
Of course.
But it just so happened that when Paul books it, I don't have to do any of that.
Don't have to worry about it.
So
That's so awesome.
So I'm very glad that we had an opportunity to meet, talk, and get your testimony and have you come on the show.
Oh, I'm so honored to be here. Thank you once again for having me.
And how do you know Paul?
Paul and I met through a mutual friend, Barb Dufault, and Barb and I met at a boutique women's event, and she loved what I was doing with my Mommy Love apparel, inspirational retail products for women and moms. And it's a project I was given from God. I don't have any retail experience and background in designing, but it's the vision that he gave me. And I do give back to the community a percentage of 10% because I do have the heart for lost, the brokenhearted, and for the community and families who really need, finances. And we need it here in Orange County more than ever, actually. So that's really what I've been doing.
That's awesome. That's really beautiful.
Yeah, okay. Paul actually and I really bonded, and after doing that first show I was invited to from Barb Dufault on Faith Unveiled Network, I was on Topic Talk, which was really exciting, and got to share my Mommy Love project. It's all here, empowering inspirational wear for women. And, it was just such a blessing and an honor to share what God has been doing in my life, just using me in many different places. And after that show, Paul said to me, he said, "Have you ever thought about your own talk show?" I said, "Well, yeah, I've been praying for it. And, people have been coming up to me and saying, I really see you doing talk shows. I'm getting visions of you." And thank you, Lolita.
You really are. You're very expressive. You're fun. You have things to say. I think it's great. Yeah.
Thank you. And so Paul said, "Well, I want to talk to you more about you doing your own talk show." And so that's why I'm here today.
Oh, see, and he shares too. Thank you, Paul. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Paul.
But we were talking about that off camera. We were talking about how in the real world you hoard your connections.
Right.
Yeah.
You hoard your talents.
That's
you build
great.
Yourself up.
Good word.
And you step on everybody else.
Good word.
But in the Christian community, for real Christians and whatever that may mean to anybody who's listening and viewing, but for us at least, we help each other out.
That's
we
right.
support and build one another in the kingdom of God.
Yes.
And God then blesses us. God then will give us the favor. But we got to be loving and supportive of one another.
That's right.
We do, because we're the body of Christ. And we all have a different thing. I can't do what you do.
Yeah.
You can't do what I do. I can't do what Joel does, or your husband Danny, or Paul, or even Richard, we all bring something to the table that makes this big, beautiful quilt for the Lord. So very well said.
Yeah.
Well, Pastor today was talking about loving each other and building disciples and really pouring into one another.
That's right.
And our pastor at Bridges Church, Jeff Timlin, he's very basic with when he speaks, and it resonates with me because I'm not too smart. So it always resonates with me. We really have to pour into one another.
Right.
And when we pour into one another, we get our gift. We use our gifts.
Right.
And then we get built up. But in the world, it tells you don't pour into one another.
Sure
pour into yourself.
Yeah.
Build yourself.
Yeah.
Yourself.
Yeah.
Yourself. It's all me.
Yeah.
Right.
But in God's kingdom, it's everybody else. And then God
That's right. We have to be the light in the kingdom, and we have to encourage and edify each other. And that's what our gifts are for. The gifts of the Spirit of God are to be used to edify and to encourage. And so I just ask God every day, use me mightily. Use me mightily for the kingdom, God. Give me divine appointments, divine contacts. Show me, Father, where people need you. Let me be the light. Let me be the light in LA, in Hollywood, wherever I go. And it's all to honor him. And when you pray prayers like that, they're dangerous prayers, because God will take you into places like gas stations and the streets of Santa Ana like me. And, I just tell them about the love of God, and I bring them to the kingdom just because of what I carry, because I'm a carrier of the Spirit of God.
There you go. Well, I can't wait to hear this show. Let's go.
Get the audience and viewers who are listening and tuning in to get to know you a little bit, Rochelle. Rochelle, where did you grow up?
I grew up in San Jose. I was born in San Francisco. Of course, I'm a 49ers fan out there. Hello.
There you go. All right. Okay.
And
forget it.
The men in the building are like, uh-oh. Okay. So, yeah, I really love living in the Bay Area. And my family and I lived in San Jose most of my life. I have 2 other sisters. I'm the middle child.
Oh, boy, the middle. Is that we ask everybody who's a middle child. Is it true where you kind of
get lost?
My gosh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It is. But what's so funny is that all 3 of us are 3 years apart. So I connect with my older sister on things, and I connect to my younger sister on things, for
so
sure.
You can relate to both of them.
Yeah, but I'm the strongest believer out of them all. So I really am able to testify to them, show them the light and the love. And so it's really been a great blessing for me to be able to do that.
And how many years did you spend in San Diego? In San Jose?
San Jose? Probably, let's see. Well, I went to school in Mountain View. So I've been in, I went to private school all my life, actually. And I was in San Jose for maybe 12 years.
Okay.
And then I moved to San Francisco. I went to college in San Francisco. And that's where I met my hubby.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to get to that.
Yeah.
Well, before we go there, how was your family, your mother and father, were they in the church? Did they raise you girls to know the Lord? Or
my mom was a prayer mama. Really, it was growing up. I was just going through the motions a bit. And I was going to church, and I really found out through being in high school, I was lost. I was broken. I went through some times where I'd go into churches, like Christian churches, Catholic churches. My mom, she's very, very into the Catholic religion. And for me, my prayer time with God was important. And I really searched a lot in my high school years. I mean, I went through abuse. I went through physical abuse. I went through emotional abuse. I went through depression, drugs, and alcohol abuse.
Is this from your?
So if you guys don't think that God is real, well, He's real, because He uses me no matter what. Amen. It doesn't matter about your past, because He makes all things new. And that's why I'm so grateful to be here, because I know that the testimony I have is going to reach so many people, because there's so many people out there that think, oh, this is me, and I don't know if God's going to forgive me. But God just washes away all of that, and He takes you, and He takes your brokenness. He makes your mess a miracle.
Because it's so apparent when we talk about our challenges and our struggles, especially with drug addiction and promiscuity and these things that hold us back so much. We think that we're less than, but in God's eyes, when we bring it to Him, He really does wash away those sins.
That's right.
And He really uses that brokenness for His glory. Being an addict for 10 years, being sober for 10 years, I look back now 10 years before, I was a mess. I can't imagine trying to survive and raise my children and be productive and run my business and train whoever, being that person. It took God really breaking me down and going through that to get me to be a part of having a relationship with you guys, being a part of LA Talk Live, having our show now. It was only through Him working in my life can we be here. So your testimony is going to touch other people, even through your struggles and challenges.
That's right.
And the truth is, we all have them. If you're out there listening and viewing, you can't tell me that you don't, because I know I do.
Yeah, we do.
We sure do.
Well, I don't want to get too personal with you, but the abuse that you talked about, was it in the family, or was it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So we don't have to pinpoint who, but so there was abuse in your family.
Yeah, and it happens a lot in our childhood, where, that's the place where we're most fragile.
Right.
And that's why we figure out, okay, that's the root problem of why I'm the way I am today. People don't understand. It's really from our childhood. And so it was such a great, powerful thing what God's done through my life. And I really got close to a pastor, actually. I didn't even know he was a pastor. I was working for a real estate company, and I was like already in my early 20s. People think I'm 28. I love you out there.
Yeah, you do.
28, but I'm almost in my 40s, so I'm a lot older
Oh,
than
you poor child.
But, it's all good.
You poor child. You're almost
Thank
in
you,
your 40s.
Jesus, for good
Wonderful,
genes,
you
right?
Thank
you,
Yes,
Jesus.
you're doing really well. You are.
So, yeah, and it was just him who, he just said, you're either hot or you're cold. You're not lukewarm, Rochelle, because I was being lukewarm. And I knew the word, but being able to say, am I a doer of the word? Am I really doing what it says in his word, what is written? I wasn't, and so I was like lukewarm. I would say high school, and then when I got to my early 20s is when I really said, I want a relationship where it's
with
just you, and I want to be hot for you. I want to be on fire for you, God. You are my beginning, the end. You're Alpha, the Omega. You're the author and the finisher of my faith. You created me in your image and likeness. I want to be on fire for you, and I love you, and I put you first in my life. I seek you first in your kingdom. And that's how my life completely changed and it transformed.
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah, from A to Z. What happened in the middle there?
Yeah. What brought you to the point where you felt a tug on your heart to give your life to Christ? What led up to that?
Oh, just, I had it with like the world. I knew that there was something more out there. And I think for a lot of us out there, and probably someone who's tuning in today, you're just kind of like lost, like, God, what's going on? Is there a real God? Because this life is just filled with so many things that are dark, and there's so many things that are going on with crime rates, with people who are just frustrated, angry, and upset, and broken and lost. They might be doing drugs. They might be doing things that are abusive. And I think all of us search for an answer at one point in life when we've had enough. We're just like, God, reveal yourself. Like, this is enough. I've had it. And so I came to that point. And I was in a relationship with a man for 10 years. So this is going to speak to your heart, Joel, because you just got out of a relationship. And it was 10 years off and on. He was a Christian. He was a believer. I would go to his church. It was all good. But he wasn't my husband, and that really tore me.
There you go.
It tore me apart. It was like, I'm so broken. Like, I love this man. Why can't I just move forward with him? And why can't I just get married? But when you've got God just speaking to you, you know that you know that you know.
Right.
Because he's a supernatural God. He'll speak to you in any way.
Right.
So he was speaking to me.
Well, I wanted to ask you, you talked about drugs and alcohol. Was that a part of your testimony? Did you get involved in that in high school or junior high school?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Not to put you on the spot, but
no.
This is helping people to know where you ended up, to see where you came from. And
oh, yeah.
Well,
I think also in high school, it's really easy for like the youth to get drugs, and people don't think so. I went to a private school. I mean, these kids got lots of money, and it's like, where do you get it? Well, it's really easy, actually.
Right.
So I was exposed to things at a young age, and like when my sister would go out to clubs, it was like I was 15 and she was 18. So it was just kind of in my environment. And so I thank God I wasn't like really so involved with it, but I was involved with it enough to damage a lot during that time period.
Well,
but I would hide it
too, right?
I mean, I was good at being able to come home and just be myself. I mean, I got good grades. I was involved with musical theater, community service, and it wasn't until Heavenly Father got to me that I was able to really submit and know that, okay, I give it to you. You can take all of it because I can't handle it.
Wow. Well, you said you had a lot of pain underneath that. I mean, from your childhood and stuff. So you overcompensated by being busy.
Oh, yeah.
The achiever. That's good. Talk about that, huh, Joel? You were an achiever too, weren't you?
Same here. I was always driving. I wouldn't want to be so independent and do my own thing.
Yeah.
But what I was just running away from my void. I had a big hole in my heart, and I was trying to fill it with everything of the world. And the only thing that really actually fit like a peg and filled it and made it complete was God.
That's right.
And Lolita's the one that led me to Christ.
Wow.
And I was going through an awful time. I remember I came out of my house and I was teaching martial arts. I was teaching her son. I said, I can't teach today. She's like, I drove from Long Beach to Fullerton. It's a long drive. What's wrong? She's like, you look awful. You look pale. You look skinny. I sat in her car and she told me about a loving God, a graceful God. And I gave my life to Christ in that car that day.
Wow.
And it started the process that was going to change my life.
Wow.
It wasn't overnight. You know, some people, miracles happen to you and you're delivered overnight. It was a long process. Lolita would
and
hear
you're
me.
still in it. It's
And
not
I'm still in the
not
trenches.
a was. It is.
It's a process,
like
for
what you're
sure.
saying,
But I remember you would listen to me and you
Yeah.
would direct me and advise me. Did you have somebody like that came alongside you? Because we
Yeah.
talk about how God uses these angels and puts them in our lives to
Yeah.
give us some direction.
Yeah, Pastor Bossum Karomi. He
Yeah,
was
that's what you.
the one who was mentoring me, and I was able to really get into the Word. I would be able to really, really understand the Word too.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Break it down
'Cause
for you.
sometimes we just read it and we're like, okay, I get it, but to live it out
Mhm.
and to use the Word and be a doer of the Word. So it was Pastor.
And you met him through the real estate.
Yeah.
He was a real estate.
Yeah.
broker? Well, yeah,
he
you got to
was.
do both. You know. So
Yeah.
that's how the Lord brought you together.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so that's making a lot of sense.
But let's
all right.
talk about you finally submitting and surrendering to God and surrendering and allowing God to be the Lord of your heart.
Oh yeah.
What was that like? What was that experience like? I always like to touch on that because I think it's so unique for everybody when they come to Christ and they say,
Yeah.
God, I just need you in my heart. I need you
Yeah.
to fulfill me. Tell us about that.
I remember just being at a restaurant, Sizzler, with Pastor, and he at the time was just, Bossum, and he had talked to me about really having relationship, and he said, Rochelle, honestly, can you say you have a strong relationship with God? I mean, you say you go to church, you do this, you do that, like you
Right.
said. I
There
was
you
just
go.
like always moving and grooving and going. But I said, you know what? I don't think so. So he said to me, well, I want you to really think about this and just, close your eyes, take this moment with God and just say, God, I need you in my life. I want to have a relationship with you, Jesus, and forget whatever happened in the past. I'm wiping the whole slate clean. Today, I wash you of all your sins. And this is a day where I'm going to have you be the savior of my life.
Now the pastor led you in the prayer.
Yes,
He
yes,
led
yes.
you in that
Yeah,
prayer
yeah.
to invite him in as your personal savior.
Exactly.
To have that relationship.
Yes.
So what does it mean to have a relationship with Christ as opposed to going to church? Can you explain that to someone out there, what it means to have a real relationship with him?
Yeah.
Because that's what we're trying to convey to people.
Of course.
It's not a religion, it's a person.
It's so important that we know that relationships are also valuable here on earth, right? Because Adam had Eve, right? It wasn't good for Adam to be alone.
There you
So
go.
you created the woman, Eve. Relationships are so key, and knowing that there's a God who loves you. I mean, he loves you with this everlasting love. He knew you before you were in your mother's womb, and that he's there to just be there. And even though you're in times of darkness or you're lost or broken, he's still there. And he chases after you. He was chasing after me. He was
I
chasing
bet.
after you, Lolita. He was
Amen.
chasing after you, Joel.
Very well
It's
said.
not like we're like, oh, I want to be on TV. I want to be on radio. No, he chases after us.
I didn't even want this.
Exactly.
Yeah, we were just
he
like, huh?
just says, I'm calling you
Yeah.
to my purpose.
That's right.
And I love you. You are my beloved. You're my daughter. You
that's
are my
beautiful.
son. You belong to me. I'm a king in the kingdom. And
Tell
so
them.
you got to understand that it's a relationship with Jesus. It's not a religion. It's not tradition. It's only relationship, because he came here to love. He died on a cross. He was broken. He took slashes for us so that we would be able to say, okay, this is a loving, intimate relationship. It's not just a God that's way up there like, oh, God's up there somewhere. It's intimacy. And I understood that. I would just pray, do all these traditions and get a church, sit down, stand. Now you can sing. Now you can go home. Now you got to do this next step, this next step. No, there's no steps involved. It's about being able to say, I have a real relationship. I can go to a good daddy, a good father, my heavenly father, and he listens to me and he guides me, and I ask him for divine appointments every day. I ask him to use me mightily, and that I would be able to show people it's about relationship. It's about knowing that there is a real loving father who wants to be there for you, who wants you to step into your calling, your purpose. You know, there's so many people out there who are listening and watching who are wondering, you know, when is my dream going to come true, Lord? You showed me this, and when is this vision going to come to pass? But it's God's perfect timing.
Yeah.
It's God's perfect will. And that's why you guys are watching and listening today, because you know and you believe there is something bigger and better out there, and he's bigger than your circumstance. God is able to move mountains for you.
Was bigger than your circumstance.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Because he used you. So let's talk about that. Great segue, because
and don't forget to talk about Daniel.
Don't forget to talk about the hubby.
It reminds me of my brother. I love it.
Well, we'll get to that as you tell this part of your testimony, because when did you realize that you had such a passion for fashion? Because you had no retail experience, but yet you had a passion for this. Let's touch on that.
Look at her face. She's like, oh, I can't wait.
When I was in my mother's womb, I had a passion for fashion. I'm for real. I would wear dresses all the time. If you look at my pictures when I was growing up, my gosh, cute. I had so many dresses. Even one of my birthday's cake was a yellow golden dress. I think I was in 4th grade. It was in my blood. I'm telling you, it was before I was in my mother's womb. I had a passion for fashion. I do makeup. I would dress, and like for my 8th grade dinner dress, I had like a Cinderella dress.
Aww.
I mean, it was in my blood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you go to school for it then?
Well, I just wanted to be in business. My mom.
There you go.
Yeah,
girl.
my mom.
There
my
you go.
mom. She was a small business owner. She came from the Philippine Islands, and she started on senior care private business. And I looked up to her, and I thought, Mom, I just admire you. You're so hardworking.
That's very important.
You sacrifice for your children to be here in the United States, and I want to be a business owner like you. And I was not thinking I'd have my own retail business and e-boutique and
that's the
do all these
foundation of business.
amazing things. Yeah.
Because with having the foundation of business and going to school and learning that, then you can build upon what you're doing now. So I think that's important.
But with your God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you can ask or think.
Amen.
It doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter at all, because I don't have a fashion background. I don't have
let's talk about
graphic design background to do these amazing inspirational shirts. Yeah.
And let's talk about that.
Sure.
When did you realize that you were ready to take the next step and start your fashion line? When did you realize that's that pivotal point in your life?
Joel, it was a time of brokenness. Bottom line. I mean,
did you come out of real estate or something?
Well, I was working as a senior recruiter. I've been in a career specialist as well, and very successful. And I was working as a senior recruiter at
what does that mean, a senior recruiter?
Help. It's pretty much job placement.
Okay.
You know,
like a
finding
headhunter?
Jobs. Exactly.
Okay.
And they had layoffs and cutbacks. And I was getting visions of positive words, inspirational words on retail products. And at the time I was thinking, there's no way I can do this, because I've got a full-time job. I got a little one. I had 2 at the time, 15 months apart, okay? I'm a mommypreneur, let me tell you.
That's what I'm saying. We got to get to the personal part, but...
Yeah. And so I started getting visions of these positive shirts, and then guess what? There was cutbacks. So it was like an answer to prayer, because I said, God, close all the wrong doors, open the right door. Because if you're showing me this, let me be faithful, because I want to make sure I do your will, not mine.
Yeah, but when he closed that door, was that exciting? Because there goes the...
Well, it kind of gave me confirmation, but I was crying. I'm like, Lord, where's my salary? I like my salary. I got 2 kids. We got to pay rent. We got to pay for some things. So it was really, really tough and challenging. I mean, the things of the world, you know, when you get to a point where it's like, you're taking this away, God. This is my comfort zone.
There you go.
This is my comfort zone.
Yeah,
but he had to take it away, because how could I start something new? Behold, I have a new thing. You know.
I love that.
Yeah.
Amen.
And let's touch on that. Let's touch on you meeting your husband.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a pivotal point. Also,
Huge.
you make this decision to take a leap of faith.
Yes.
You take this leap of faith, but yet there's struggles. But tell us how God still blessed you, even in the time of your struggles, by starting your line.
Well, weren't you yet in college, though, right? Because you met your husband in college?
I met my husband working at Le Cordon Bleu in San Francisco.
Okay.
Wow.
So it was like really fast. It's so funny, because remember I had told you guys I had a relationship off and on for like 10 years. And literally I had said, God, I am married to you. I'm going to adopt kids. Forget it. You know, that's
You
where
didn't
I
think you were
was
gonna
at that
have 'em?
point, you
You
guys.
didn't think you were going to have them, right?
I just was like, forget it. The inventory of men was like the inventory of real estate. It wasn't very good. It was not good at that time. I was like, oh, Lord, help me. Help me, Jesus.
So many girls have told me that. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
You know?
And I was keeping it real with God. I
Yeah.
said, God, I'm okay. I
I'll
love
just adopt
you.
'em.
I'm married to you. My mom was like, what? Rochelle, you're going to have kids, you know? And I'm like, oh, whatever. So I met Danny literally like 2 months later.
Oh,
And it
so
was
you
just at
gave it
a
up.
dinner party we had at the Le Cordon Bleu because there's a restaurant that's
Well,
open
who
to
threw
the
the
public.
party?
I did, and another friend of mine. So our mutual friend, me and Danny, who's here today. I love you, Danny. You're an amazing man.
Oh, he's blowing kisses.
I love my
That's so
husband.
cute.
Yeah, he's my best friend, you guys. I wouldn't
So
be
what were you
here
throwing the
without such a
party
great
for? I'm
friend.
so nosy.
Okay, because
I
we
gotta live
had
through your life.
we had like a. You're so funny, Lolita. She's like, I'm so no. It's okay. This is all real
I love
LA
it.
live talk,
So
guys.
what was
That's
the
right.
party for?
Well, we had a Bible study group
Okay.
at
Wow.
Cornerstone Church.
All right.
And after we did like a Bible study, we would kind of just have fun and go
That's
to
nice.
a restaurant and, have time to just fellowship. So we had a
Beautiful.
dinner, and Danny was invited through my friend Leslie, who worked with me at Le Cordon Bleu. And
Oh, I love
at the
this.
restaurant, there's just amazing food there.
Uh-huh.
And the last seat that was open was right across from me. And Danny sat there, and that night I was like the hostess with the mostest, so I was running around because
bet
I
you
can't
were.
sit still. I'm like, oh, I'm one of those
You
people
got
who
a
just
lot of
can't sit
energy.
still.
I love it.
I have a lot of energy, and
You
I drink
got
a
to.
lot of coffee.
All right.
So I had just, been kind of being the hostess and stuff. But Danny took my BlackBerry phone. At the time, there's that ping. You could ping. So he put his info in and started messaging me. And, if I hadn't
for
had
Danny,
the peace of
man.
God on me, then I would have been like, you are so weird and you're freaking me out. Help me, Jesus. But I wasn't like that because I
He's
had the
cracking
peace
up.
of God. He was bold. I was like, who is this bold man taking my phone and just deciding to like message me? I'm like, oh my gosh, he's bold. But there was peace. There was
Oh.
peace.
Did you like him when you first met him?
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean,
like,
but did you feel this is the one?
you know what? I thought, okay, God, this man here is here who's late and sitting here. He's taking my phone. What's up with that? And I just felt the Spirit of God say, don't worry about it.
Just relax.
Just wait.
But you know what you said, and
Yeah.
what is so important about this story is neither one of you were waiting for something to happen. You threw an event, which I'm trying to tell people, let's get out there and do something. You don't have to go online. You guys threw an event,
That's right.
and then Dan comes and he steps out and he wants to meet somebody. We have to participate with the Lord.
You gotta
That's right.
participate.
Okay,
I think that's great.
we have to participate with the Lord,
Yeah.
right?
I've met some of the most amazing people, not looking to meet amazing people,
Right.
looking to do something else, and then God has blessed me with amazing friends.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Wow.
Getting out there.
even my
That's right.
girlfriends, they've been really good, amazing people, and I've been very blessed to have shared the time that I did with them. It's
Mhm.
because I was doing something else.
Right. You weren't sitting around waiting for God. I mean, you pray like you prayed
Right.
to the Lord, but you and your girlfriend, you got out and you threw a party for yourselves, a celebration.
That's right, Lolita. I
know?
agree with you. You
Yeah.
guys got to get out there. Don't be
Right.
afraid to network. Don't be afraid
Right.
to go ahead and step out and do things that are going to be interactive with others because you never know what God has planned for you. You might come for one thing, which he came.
I know.
He came for one thing, to eat and just go hang out and see girls, but it was his wife.
Very
It
That's
was
true.
a
right.
Holy Ghost
But he
setup.
stepped out too. I mean, I'm
He
not
sure
telling
did.
people, but he stepped out. He said, "Listen, I have an interest." I think sometimes I know I am. I sit back. I'm a little, hesitant, but I'm hearing from you guys. Go. If God closes the door, then he closes it. But at least put yourself out there. I love this.
That's true.
And you
It's
not only
true.
did that in your relationship
Mhm.
because you guys are now husband and wife, but you did that with your business.
Oh, yeah.
Because after that, you started your clothing line.
That's right.
And I wanted to just touch on that very quickly because you linked up with a designer, a very well-known designer.
did.
Let's talk about that
Wow.
before we go to a
Okay, let
commercial
me just
break.
show you guys. Can I stand up and you'll
Go
see
right
me?
ahead.
This is from my e-boutique.
It's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Thank you, Lolita.
And
Don't
you had
worry,
the
I'll tell
children.
you where to go.
Okay,
My
and you-
e-boutique,
and you
everything.
had the 2 children in between there, right?
Yeah, I had Ariana and Joseph.
Did you adopt them?
No, these came from me. They came from my womb.
Well, you were telling the Lord you were going to adopt. See?
I know I have
okay.
I have a lot of children. I
Oh.
actually help oversee the children's ministry and church over at Lifehouse Worship in Irvine. So I've
Okay.
adopted so many children already, and God leads me to so many when I go out. I just like to
There you
be
go.
a vessel of God
He
when I go out
answered
in the
the prayer.
streets, and I mean, he takes me out, and
And you're
I'm not
doing-
afraid to do street stuff. I just do. I don't know. God made
But
me
you're
one of
also-
those women who is like, okay, take off the earrings, take off the, just go, girl.
But you're
Sometimes I
also
have to
doing
go.
that with your clothing line. You're
Yeah.
doing that
That's
with
right.
all aspects of your
Yeah.
life because you have an amazing clothing line. And I
Yeah,
love to say,
Joe will
don't
like this
play,
one.
I pray.
That's
I don't
right.
Play, I pray.
We don't just play around, you guys. We take it seriously to pray and ask the Father, right?
You know what?
And I love
We're
that.
laughing, but that's the truth. That's the foundation. And that's everything you said. You prayed to him.
That's right.
And then he came in, he answered your prayers, not in the way we thought.
Exactly. He just has it his way, and it's like he's the one who's the CEO of Mommy Love and with my e-boutique for MK Collab. God is the CEO, and I've been declaring and decreeing it like every single day that God, you have to be the CEO. You're the one in charge. You know what I mean? Because he's the one who started everything, and I give him all the honor. I give him all the
Oh,
glory,
and I
and he'll
see
do
you
it
do.
for you out there. You
He
just
really
have
will.
to know.
Because
you just
you
got to
have
know
a-
he's able to.
Because you have some amazing accolades. You're a
Yeah, who's the
writer
designer?
and TV
Yeah.
correspondent with Channel 31 in Los Angeles.
Yes, the
You were-
Filipino American channel.
And you're also a TV host for Shine Hollywood Magazine and Hollywood Entertainment.
There
That's
you go.
right.
You became an advocate to empower people. You like to inspire, influence them, and push them to their destinies and God's calling for them.
Yes.
But before we go
And
to our
you're
commercial
beautiful and you're
break,
sweet,
Aw,
and don't
thank
lose
you.
that. I love that. Everyone that
you,
we've had on this
Lolita.
show has been beautiful. They have been entrepreneurs, but the thing that they all have in common is the humility with Christ, and that's the most important thing.
It is.
Okay,
It is.
that's
It
the most
really
important
is.
thing, and it's beautiful and it shines through your life.
Thank
So I'm
you.
excited to
it
hear
really
more.
is because
Yeah.
God used your submission. He continued to excel you because you started your own show with Faith Unveiled Networks
With Faith
called
Unveiled.
Divine Appointment.
Divine appointment.
So when we come back,
Oh, wow.
we're going to
We'll
talk to
talk about
Rochelle
that.
and her new show, Divine Appointment. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joy in my house. I want you to stay tuned. We're going to come right back.
Amen.
There are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Hi, I'm Ro Williams, and I would like to invite you to join GospelRhythms.com every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our show, GospelRhythms.com Talk Live Radio. Join us as we celebrate Christians around the world in all genres of entertainment, as well as highlight interest stories on men and women who are making a difference and impacting their community. So don't forget to tune in to GospelRhythms.com Talk Live Radio exclusively on LATalkLive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes under R&B or watch us live on Ustream TV. We are reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is GospelRhythms.com Talk Live Radio on LATalkLive.com. We're more than just talk. We're heaven's party here on earth.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Joy in My House, inspirational reality show with a touch of recovery. A reality show where nothing is left unsaid.
And no one is insignificant who shares.
I'm joined here by author of Shaped by the Master's Hand and my co-host, Lolita
It's
Robinson.
very good to be here and having a lot of fun.
And our in-studio guest, Rochelle. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, when we left the commercial break, we talked about you being on Faith Unveiled Networks with your new show, Divine Appointment. Let's
so
talk
excited
about
to
how
talk about
that
this.
came to pass, first of all, because God was continually working on you and
Oh, yeah.
lifting you and putting you in different places that you never thought you'd be.
Exactly. I said that prayer. Use me, God, mightily wherever I go, in media, TV, film, wherever, on the streets, whatever it is. And so it's so awesome because I had done the show for Topic Talk. and Barb Defoe, she's my friend, and Paulo Bell's friend as well, mutual friend, had me on the show. And like I said, after the show, Paul just said, Rochelle, have you thought of your own talk show? And I was like, well, yeah, I've been praying about this. And I was like, let's talk about it. And when me and Paul talked, it was like totally divine appointment. We got along so well.
I love that, yeah.
And he's just got such an incredible background. I mean, he's such an encourager. He's a mighty man of God. He's got so much like experience in media and TV and radio and graphic design and business. So he's somebody that I really bonded with because I'm in a lot of those same things. I mean, totally divine appointment. Right. And I told him, yeah, I mean, I've just been really praying for the right doors to open. And I do want a talk show because I feel like God has me here to be a light for him in media. And I've just been seeing visions. And it's like he shows me and he lets me see like little snippets of me being on TV shows and radio shows. And it was completely just awesome. And Paul and I sat down and we talked about doing a show. And we came up with it, and it's Your Divine Appointment with Rochelle. And I just filmed 2 episodes, so you guys have to watch it. It's on faithandveilednetwork.com. Please support it. That's right. It's an incredible show. And there's a Greek word called chronos. And chronos means an appointed time, a set time. It's a time that's like a date with destiny, I call it, in a Holy Ghost setup. And it's that moment where God is just pushing you in your destiny, your purpose, your calling. It could be the first time you're writing a book, the first time you're doing a radio talk show, Joel and Lolita, the first time that you're able to go to a missions trip. It's the first time you open up your own fashion line. It could be so many things. And I'm so excited to tell these testimonies and stories that are going to inspire people because there's so many people who've talked to me about like their dreams and God, when?
Yeah, it's
you know,
hard
when?
To get going.
And it's like, we need encouragement and inspiration.
Yes,
I love to inspire people because if God did it for me, he's no respecter of persons. He could do it for you. That's the kind of God we serve. He's a God who sees our heart. He gives us the desires of our heart, and he wants to bless us. He wants to bless us.
Because he was continually blessing you. You started your fashion line.
Yeah, and who's the designer? I know you wanted to talk about the designer.
Yeah, perfect. So Marissa Kenson, she's been in the retail industry for like 30 years, and it wasn't until 20 years she got her own line. Okay,
say that
so
again.
It took so long. I mean,
say
you guys, the retail world's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, 30 years she's been in the industry. I mean, she was in like Walmart, Target.
Wow.
She was doing brands for other people, brand names, but until 20 years later, she was able to have her own line.
Is that competitive?
It's very competitive.
Wow.
But she's changed the face of retail. And she's empowered women. So now women can have their own e-boutique. And so
What's
if any of you want to get a e-boutique, you got to contact me. I'd love to mentor you.
How do you do
and
that?
help you.
What's an e-boutique?
E-boutique? Okay,
like
so
e-books?
It's just online.
Oh,
and all you do is everything online. And she has everything set up for me, that the inventory, the purchasing, distribution, all that, the apparel number one is from her. She takes care of everything because she's got this new platform she created because it's the new face of retail. If you go online right now, retail's collapsing. Why not support the small business owner, the mompreneurs, the ones who need it, you know, and anyone who wants to make additional income and just be able to say, you know, did you get that from Nordstrom? No, I have it at my own e-boutique, and here, let me show you. You know what I mean? It's so different because a lot of retail stores actually are closing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
A lot of retail stores are closing.
E-boutique, I was like,
it's changing.
Yeah. It's really changing.
Online.
It's
I
online.
mean, my kids don't even watch TV anymore. Everything their media is through
Zulu
through the internet
or whatever they're watching. That's true.
So now you have your own e-boutique.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Congratulations.
Starting your own line. Tell us a little bit about your line because I think it's
and
also
it's a charity
important.
too, right? You do the charity. There's a line for the charities too. I
so
want to get all that
the
in
Mommy
there.
Love apparel. This is really powerful, inspirational messages that women and moms can get online at mommyloveml.com. And I, being a mom for the first time, you guys, it was so tough because I didn't realize, oh my goodness, my mom and dad live in Northern California, so I was out here with my second one alone, and that was
your
really,
dad.
really
Let's give him some. How's your dad doing?
Oh, he's good.
Okay.
My dad is.
So he's real supportive.
My dad definitely is a supporter. He's on my Facebook, and he's like the one who's like, "Go Rochelle! Support Faith Unveiled Network."
That's right. We got
Thank God for this. You know,
Happy
it's
Father's
cute.
Day coming up. So go ahead, tell about your.
I love you, Dad. Happy Father's Day. Bless you. you.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like what we talked about, how relationships are really a big foundation of where we are today, because we have a relationship with our Heavenly Father. Well, having a father who loves you and supports you, and your mom and your friends and people like Paulo Bell, who sees your heart. And like, Paul's pretty much my mentor. I'm like, you're mentoring me through this, Paul. And one of my good friends who was working at the Filipino American channel, Rachel Dare, she said, I want to introduce you to the owners of the network, and they adopted me. I mean, it was a divine appointment. They're like, we love you, your energy, you love helping women, you love the community, you're always doing events in Orange County, supporting business owners, boutique owners. We adopted you. I feel like God's really just blessing me, because it's nothing to do with me. I'm just honoring him and giving him my whole heart, my whole mind, my whole soul, to love him and to bless people and say, God is real, and he really wants to show up in your life. He's put purpose in you. And like, you two are doing your purpose, your calling. You're doing this radio show because God's called you.
That's right.
You're called to inspire and influence people.
Well, how does your line reach the people in it's like homeless people or charity or what?
Yes, so I actually
things.
I have two things.
All right.
So the Mommy Love actually goes to South County Outreach, and South County Outreach helps homeless and crisis families in Orange County.
Battered women and things like that.
Oh yeah,
whoever
they take care of it, and like housing, and they have computer labs. They have food pantry that's open pretty much 7 days a week.
That's beautiful.
And there's not a lot of places that do 7 days a week. And I always usually try to bring my kids' clothes there, because they have like a boutique there for like consignment and for people who are needing clothes and they can't afford it.
You design the clothes yourself?
No, these are just the clothes that my son and my daughter can't wear anymore.
Oh, that's
so I
beautiful,
just
though.
donate it to the South County Outreach, because there's so many families out there. I mean, in Orange County, I was talking to Joel about it. It's the 5th largest county in the United States and the 3rd largest in California.
That's right.
The median to buy a house here is $619,000, and the nation's about like only 200 something, you guys.
Just 3
so
times
if
more.
you lose your income, you could be homeless the next day because of the rate of how much it costs to live here.
Yes, it does.
And I went to the Philippine Islands, and that's really where I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much poverty here. I mean, the rich are really rich, and I saw that, and then there was like the really poor, and I would just want to give my clothes away. And I know God put me with the children just because he knew that I was going to be used to help the families who needed help and the children who needed the help.
And you're doing that here in our backyard.
In our backyards, in our community.
10% of the proceeds
10%.
to your line goes back to this organization that helps.
You know what? You're just taking from a practical standpoint. You're getting out there and giving what you can, and God is blessing it. That is amazing.
Thank you.
It really, I think we're waiting for these big visions to come.
Right. And now with your platform of Divine Appointment on Faith Unveiled Network, now you have a platform where you can share that gospel and share that story, where people can come on board and support your show, support the network, and then give back in their community in a different way. Because we can all help in one way or another. Sometimes it's just our finances. Sometimes it's just our time.
Our prayers,
but now through social media and through this platform that we have now, it's also just our time. Our time of partnering up with you. So let's talk about Divine Appointment.
Yay.
Divine Appointment, when does it air? When does it air? Where can people find it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have it rotated. So that's 2 times a month, and we have it on a schedule. It's like either the 2nd or the 1st week of the month. And you could go online and get it on faithunveiled.com. Right?
Yes, faithunveiled.com.
faithunveiled.tv.com. Sorry, guys, I'm still getting this. I have so many websites that I got to remember. And there's an app, too, the app that you can download, Faith Unveiled. And I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And I just wanted to share, too, if any of you out there, want to sow a seed into what I'm doing and see the value of the projects I'm doing, please do. Just contact me. There is a support needed because there's so many different important projects I'm put on. And as we know, we still need resources.
Right.
And so if any of you out there feel like you want to sow a seed of love and see the desire or have the heart to help, please do, because I really would love to partner and help and collaborate with you.
Well, that's beautiful.
Well, very quickly, we
Yeah.
can find more information regarding Rochelle on our Facebook, /RochelleCastillas.com. You also have an Instagram page, /Rochelle Castillas
ML.
ML.
Mhm.
And then you also have a Twitter account, Rochelle Lovely.
Rochelle Lovely.
Rochelle
Yes.
Lovely. And
That's
regarding
cute.
your apparel for your company, where can people find more information regarding your apparel?
MommyLoveML.com, and the e-boutique that's fashion with Marissa Kenzen is on there as well. It just says shop MK Collab, and then I have a separate webpage too. It's mkcollab.com/shop/Rochelle Casillas.
Wow.
So if you guys like my outfit you're wearing,
I do.
please support this boutique. It's for a good cause because it's still going 10% to the South County outreach too. I mean,
And I
God,
wanna
whatever
shout out
I
to
need
you.
to do to just bring more to the kingdom and help those who are needy, I'm trying to as much as possible. So,
And congratulations to your fashion art. What's her name again? Your designer?
Marissa Kenzen. Hi,
Ken-
Marissa. We love
Congratulations.
you.
30 years in the making. You go, girl.
Yeah, and
You
she's
go.
just a mighty
So
woman
before
of
we
God.
go- Oh.
Yeah.
When people watch your show, what can they get out of watching Divine Appointment on the Unveiled Network?
Extreme
Unveiled.
faith. You get extreme faith because you're going to hear testimonies of people where God was able to open up the right door. It was a divine appointment, the right timing,
I like that.
and it was all God. You know, it's
Okay.
it's totally important people continue to believe and have faith in their dreams and goals.
and
not
recognize the
get
divine
discouraged.
appointment. Recognize it when it
Yeah.
happens.
Exactly. I mean, I had Danny on, my husband, to share the divine appointment when we first met.
Yeah, still in your
Danny.
phone. Go ahead, Danny.
And I also had the worship artist, Grace Williams,
Mhm.
and she shares about her testimony. She's just an amazing worship leader.
Mhm.
And, you know, from birth, she was attacked. You know, she almost didn't make it, and God had done so much with her and showed her so many visions of her music. And now it's global, and she's got such a powerful ministry of healing, deliverance. I mean, people who were cutters, people who were wanting to commit suicide, they weren't believers, listened to her music and just would stop, and they said, there's something about your music, I don't know what it is. And we're like, thank you, Jesus,
Wow.
because
It
that's
is
how
the
you
power
work.
of
You work in
God.
the supernatural.
Amen.
That's right.
Wow.
Well, before we come to a close, we like to ask this of all of our guests. The name of the show is Joy in My House. The premise is the joy that we have in the midst of our challenges, but also in the midst of our successes. So we got to ask you, Rochelle, what does joy in my house mean to you in today's day and age?
Well, the joy of the Lord is definitely my strength, and I love to laugh, and just being able to be with my children and love them and be able to do what I love and share my testimony of how God uses me daily, and just being able to live my life abundantly and keep my joy in
There
everything
you
in the
go.
midst of the craziness. And we all get drama. Come on. We all get drama, but joy, real joy, is going through the storm and dancing in the rain.
Oh, I
Amen.
love that.
Amen.
Beautiful. All right.
Rochelle, I want to thank you for coming
Thank you
on the
for
show. You can
coming.
find more
Yes.
information regarding
Thank
Rochelle.
you for having me.
You can find her on Facebook, /Rochelle Castillas. You can find her on Instagram, and you can also find her on Twitter. This is Joy in My House. I want you to catch us live every Sunday here at noon with next week actor Tank Jones will be doing our Father's Day special with our special in-studio guest co-host Paul Obel, founder of
Happy Father's Day.
Happy
let me
Father's Day.
pronounce right. Faith Unveiled Network.
Faith
Join
Unveiled
us live
Network.
every Sunday here at noon on WWW LA Talk Live. This is Joy in My House. We'll see you next week. God bless.
Thank you for tuning in to LA Talk Live, reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we're more than just talk. Stay tuned.
Joy in my house, joy in my house, joy. I've got joy